Hey team, how's it going? In the previous video, we recorded the intro to your product walkthrough, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I edit the footage and audio together with some visual effects. We're going to cover a lot of ground here, so I'm going to break it down chapter by chapter. Let's start by syncing audio and video. So a good way of doing this is to separate the audio and the video. Track number 2 is the iPhone footage, so I'll control click and I will separate video and audio. From there, we want to find that moment of impact. I'm going to zoom in by hitting Shift, Command, and the plus symbol. So that takes me in pretty close there. I'm going to move the playhead by hitting period and comma. Okay, so right about there, that's where I would like to match up the iPhone footage. And so now I'll trim the iPhone footage so that it fits within the scope of the introduction. Let's move everything over. There is that transient I was telling you about. And again, zoom in, Shift, Command, plus symbol, minus. You can also grab this slider here to help with that. And so the goal is to take the iPhone footage. This time I'll hold Shift as I click on the audio waveform and just drag it over, and that should sync up pretty nicely there. Let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm not necessarily going to need the audio from the iPhone, right? As I was talking, the iPhone was picking up on my voice. And so that being the case, you can either delete this information, and then something else that I like to do, which is just really a safety guard, is to tell the audio to silence. And that way it's there. Maybe you need it later, maybe you don't. Another way of doing that inside of the Properties tab is just to simply take the gain knob and slide it all the way down as well. So to me, what separates the pros from the non-pros is all the details. So let's go ahead, look at this video here. I'm going to zoom in tightly, and first things first, we just have to drop in a fade. This introduction's simply not going to work. Check it out. Hey team, how's it going? And so we definitely want to drop a fade there, but here's an issue. This video, right? I didn't nail that intro, so let's go ahead, bring the playhead to position. I'll hit Shift Command T, and that's going to split at playhead. From there, I'll select these regions by holding Shift and creating what's called a contiguous selection. I'll go ahead and delete. Let's bring these on over to the very beginning. And then as mentioned, I'll go to the transition tab there, and I will grab a simple fade. You can skim through these amazing transitions, or you can just go into the search bar, type in fade, and then just drag that in. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over the material there. And then something to keep in mind, which I really love, is the fact that you can control click and you can add this as a favorite that shows up in this tab up here. The workflow is pretty spectacular. Let me hit play. Let's see what this sounds like. Hey team, how's it going? This is Eddie Gray, and in today's So this is looking pretty good. This is probably when I want the debut of the MIDI controller. So let me grab this. I'll drag it up here. Let's go to scale and let's drop it down. Let's go to 50 and see what that looks and feels like. It looks pretty good. Now I just want to crop the actual picture. So it's one of my favorite features of Camtasia, the fact that I can grab the footage and just resize in just the easiest way possible. And then I really like this look where we get this rounded corner thing going on. So let's go to visual effects, and under corner rounding, we're going to drop that footage not into the main camera, right? We're going to drag it into the iPhone. So we'll drag it right in there. All right. And then we have kind of power of how this is going to show up. Now I may have cropped that a little too much, so let me just bring this up. Okay, let's resize. Now, the most important part of cropping is once you're done, you have to go back to this section here. So it's almost like going back to the default behavior. So if you do any cropping whatsoever, always go back to the primary edit mode. All right, so this is looking good. I may want to drop this somewhere, maybe over here. And then you have to think about, how is it going to pop up on my screen? Is it just going to jump on the screen, or is there going to be some kind of transition? So let's see. Let's press play and we'll figure this out. Covering this great MIDI controller, and I'm going to show you one of. Okay, I kind of like what it looks like. Again, I'll just resize it a little bit so it fits there neatly in the corner. Three things. I'm going to show you how. I think lower thirds are great, especially when you're just introducing yourself. So we have made available a couple different assets. One of those being Eddie Gray lower third. So let me go into my library. I created a custom library called YouTube Go To. And let me drag this into my video here. I'm going to position this in a way where it complements the main picture here. I want to see myself first, then I want to see the lower third right after that. Hey team, how's it? Okay, so somewhere around there. So I really like this feature here where you click and hold on that X and then you're able to move around freely. Okay, so let's see what that looks and feels like. Hey team, how's it going? This is Eddie Gray, and in today's video. Yeah, I like it. I just want to move it to the left a little bit. Hey team, how's it going? This is Eddie Gray, and in today's video, we're going to be covering. So this is nice. This tells people, I know what I'm doing. Welcome to my channel. Enjoy yourself. Get comfortable. I'm about to take you on a ride. So let me press play here again. Let's see what this looks and feels like. Hey team, how's it going? This is Eddie Gray, and in today's video, we're going to be covering this great MIDI controller. Okay, at this point, I think it's important to keep stimulating the audience. So I'm going to go into library. Let's go into Camtasia 2022. Under channel kit, you have a bunch of great subscribe buttons here. And so if I double click them, you can look at them. You can audition, see which one you like best. So that looks pretty good. Let's keep going here. Double click. Ooh, I like that one a lot. So we'll use that. We'll use that. So let's drop that into the timeline. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to control. So that looks really nice, right? Change the coloring up here in the properties tab. Let me just bring up the scale. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to control the gain of an EQ so as to create. Let's add a little bit of sound effects. I think that will take it over the top. Again, we've made available a couple different sounds. So I'm looking for specifically SFX Bell 1. I'll drop this. And because it's audio, it doesn't matter if it's on top or in the bottom. In other words, it doesn't matter which layer it is. It's not going to visually affect what you're doing. But I will do my best to line it up. At that point, we get the click. And so I'm going to hold Option and hit plus to change the track height. And we should hear the bell at that point. Let's see. Control the gain of an EQ so as to. Okay, I like it. It sounds nice, but I want to drop the gain, so I'll do that in the Properties tab. Let's audition that again. EQ so as to create band passes for your music productions. I hope you're ready. Here we go. All right, fantastic. Let me go ahead, select both of these, and then hit Shift-Command-T. I'll delete what we don't need, and here's our introduction from beginning to end. Hey team, how's it going? This is Eddie Gray, and in today's video, we're going to be covering this great MIDI controller. And I'm going to show you one of three things. I'm going to show you how to low cut, also going to show you how to high cut, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how to control the gain of an EQ so as to create band passes for your music productions. I hope you're ready. Here we go. All right, and then just to close out, I'm going to open up Boxy Video. And let me audition this by double clicking. We just drop that into the end here. All right, so notice this is not fitting within the canvas here. So one of the things that I'll do right away is I'll just double click and hit 200. There's also another key command that's called scale fit. And that really helps out. If you ever want to find that, you can go into shortcuts. And so the key command for that is Option Command F. All right, so let's go into the properties panel. And depending on obviously what you're doing, you're going to change the name of this. Let's say I was on my YouTube channel here. You can go ahead and change the colors. I personally like this feel here, so I'm going to stick to all that. I don't want this one to be gray. If you ever get lost as it relates to colors, you can click on the color matcher there. So I'll hover over the original color that I picked, and then those should just match up. So let's see what this looks like, top to bottom. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so that looks really nice. I do think we need some sound effects. So again, if you go into downloadable assets, I have a couple here. I think I'm gonna go with whoosh number 6. Sounds like this. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, we'll drop that. Again, doesn't matter if it's on the top layer or not, but it does need to line up. I think you should pay special care to make sure that it blends and it's not noticeable. Audio should just complement the video. Here we go. All right, so that's how you build a title sequence. We still have a lot more to go. In the next video, we will be recording the bulk of your content. I'll see you there.